Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AI Accelerators podcast. Today, I'm here with Isha, who has joined Accelerate recently as a automation trainee, and she mainly works in RPA UiPath. And today, we're talking about something very different and it's important, but it's not talked about often, and it's imposter syndrome in tech from a fresher's point of view. So, welcome, Isha.
Thanks for having me here.
Okay, so Isha, to begin with, how would you explain the imposter syndrome from a fresher's point of view in tech?
Okay, so basically, from a fresher's point of view, it is not a constant feeling, I would say, but something that comes and goes during the learning phase. It usually appears when freshers steps into unfamiliar situations or are assigned to tasks that feel very different from academic learning that we used to do. So in tech roles, especially the learning curve is steep and it's natural to feel unsure at times. For example, in college, we might learn about automation concepts in isolation, but in a real project, we are expected to understand the entire flow, inputs, outputs, exception handling, logging, reusability. When freshers see how many aspects are involved in delivering, even a small automation that may start doubting whatever they know enough of it or not. For freshers, I would say it often comes from the gap between what we know and what we are expected to learn on the job. It's less about feeling incapable and more about adjusting to new responsibilities, tools, and project expectations. As we start understanding, I guess, how the projects are actually structured, these feelings reduce slowly.
I see. So, how did this feeling show up for you after joining as a trainee developer?
So, as I joined as trainee RPA developer, this feeling showed up mostly during my transition from actually to live projects during training. Actually, we focused on learning activities and concepts, but in real project, the focus shifts to following standards, delivering reliable automations. For instance, when I first saw an existing project workflow, it included proper naming conventions, reusable components, logging, exception handling. Initially, it felt overwhelming because it was very difficult and different from the simple workflows built during training. Even small tasks required understanding the overall process and where the change would fit in. There were moments where tasks took longer than expected, especially when understanding the existing logic. At some time, I would say working through these tasks helped me understand how real projects are built. So, while self doubt did exist initially, it was always accompanied by learning and gradual improvement.
I get your point, Isha. I think this is a very common thing for people who have like newly joined in a field. So,
Yes.
in your day-to-day RPA work, where does imposter syndrome usually surface for freshers?
Mhm. Actually, like in day-to-day RPA work, it often surfaces during debugging, I would say, handling exceptions or working with dynamic applications. For example, a workflow may fail due to a selected issue or a data mismatch, and identifying the exact cause can take time, like for a fresher. When a bot doesn't behave as expected, like multiple times we need to run, freshers may feel that they should have solved it faster. It can also happen when dealing with queue items, transaction failures, or unexpected business exceptions that were not clearly documented by the people giving the project. Another situation I would say is during discussions when seniors like quickly suggest improvements or alternative logics. Freshers may feel hesitant to speak about it, which I felt at times. However, over time, reviewing logs, understanding error messages, learning from feedbacks help these situations into learning experience rather than sources of self doubt, I can say.
Okay, so
Hmm.
how do freshers usually move past this imposter syndrome? Does it happen as they gain experience, or how does it work?
Okay, yeah. Basically, I would say freshers usually move past imposter syndrome gradually, not suddenly, as they start completing tasks independently, such as fixing a bug, enhancing an existing workflow, or successfully handling an exception. Their confidence builds up naturally. For example, something that initially felt complex, like handling retries or validating input data, becomes more familiar with patients once a fresher realizes that they can understand and fix issues on their own, have confidence of doing so. The uncertainty reduces. Another important factor I could say is mindset, accepting that it's okay to take time to understand a process, and that mistakes are part of development helps reduce pressure a lot. Experience does not remove challenges, but it helps fresher approach them with more clarity and confidence, I could say.
I see. So, I want to know your opinion. How can companies or the team culture help freshers deal with this kind of a thing in tech?
Okay. Yeah, so companies and team culture, according to me, plays a key role in shaping how freshers experience imposter syndrome. Like when team provides clear documentation, walkthroughs of existing projects, or realistic timelines, freshers feel more confident in handling these tasks. For example, when seniors explain why a certain design approach was used in a project, or review a fresher's workflow and suggest improvements in the existing workflow, it becomes a learning opportunity rather than a judgment feeling. Mentorship, regular reviews, and constructive feedback help freshers understand expectations clearly. A culture basically where learning is encouraged alongside delivery allows freshers to grow steadily. Like when freshers feel supported during project work, imposter syndrome becomes manageable and gradually fades as experience increases, I would say.
Yes, Isha, I agree. I think this is like a
Mhm.
very relatable thing, and I think freshers need to come out of their shells and be more confident and just ask
Yeah.
questions. It's okay to be wrong, and at the same
Mhm.
time, companies need to provide an environment where the freshers are allowed to grow, they're encouraged, and these kinds of things. So I think this is a very important topic to address,
Mhm.
and thank you for sharing your thoughts on this, Isha,
Yeah. Thank
and
you. Mhm.
thank you to our listeners for tuning in.
Okay, thank you.